Hello and welcome to the third video of the series, Introduction to Google AdWords. In this part you will learn how to structure your Google AdWords campaigns. My name is Philipp Zakirik from semgermany.com in Berlin, and here is the overview of the topics we are going to cover in this video. First of all, why should you structure your campaigns? What makes account structure so important, and what are the benefits you will get from it? You will also learn more about the three levels of the Google AdWords system, that is account, campaigns and ad groups, and what you can do in order to develop an optimal structure for your own account. So why is account structure important? Maybe you were just starting out with Google AdWords, created your account and your first campaign, but maybe now you want to add more keywords, or you notice that your campaign performance is not as good as you expected and you need to better focus your ads. And that's when you should think about your account structure, because the more campaigns and ad groups and keywords you will have in your account, the more you will rely on a good account structure to also keep it manageable. So one advantage of having a good account structure is that it helps you organize and manage your account much better. It also enables you to better control and focus your ads, because instead of putting all your keywords into one single ad group, you will create several campaigns and ad groups that allow you to be more specific about what, when, where, and how you offer your products or services. So your target customers will see more relevant ads coming from you, which is something that contributes to higher conversion rates. And because Google supports highly relevant ads, a good account structure also affects your quality score in a positive way, so you can get better positions and pay less. In order to structure your account, you should understand the three levels of the Google AdWords system and what you can do on each of them. The three levels are your account, campaigns, and ad groups. On the account level, you can set basic things such as your payment information, for example your credit card, what currency you're using. In fact, here you should always select the currency of the country where your business is registered and pays tax, because the bills you will later receive from Google will be issued in that currency, and that might be important for your tax report later. So for example, when your business is based in the UK, you should select pounds as the currency for your account, even if you want to run ads only in countries within the European Union that are using the euro, for instance. Another information you can set here is the time zone. In fact, when you first set up your account and select the time zone, you should keep in mind that you cannot change that setting anymore in the future. The second level, the campaign level, is something like the master control of your campaigns. Here you can set things such as the daily budget you want to spend for an individual campaign, or also what advertising network your ads should run on. So you could have one campaign only for the search network and one campaign with ads running on the display network, for example. You could also select both the display and search network for the same campaign, and in fact that's also the standard setting when you create a new campaign, but I recommend actually that you always create separate campaigns for each network, because it's two different things with different dynamics and you actually want to keep the statistics separate from one another. Then you can define your targeting options here. For example, in what country or city you want to run your campaign. That's important to know when you want to promote a product or service only within a specific area, for example a local business. Then you can set that on the campaign level. And you can choose your bid settings here. If you want to choose automated bidding or manual bidding, for example, and a couple of more settings, but these here are the most important ones you can set on the campaign level. On the ad group level, the third level, you can create your ads and include the keywords that should trigger these ads. And maybe you can see already how useful that is, that you can cluster your campaigns and ad groups in a way that allows you to write ads as relevant as possible to your keywords. But now let's have a look at an actual example that demonstrates more clearly how that works. Let's say you have a Google AdWords account for an online shoe store. In this store, you sell shoes for both women and men. Now you could have two separate campaigns. One campaign for promoting men's shoes and one campaign for promoting women's shoes. That gives you the possibility now to assign, let's say, 50% of the budget to each campaign in the beginning. On the next level then, the ad groups level, you could become even more specific. You sell all kinds of shoes maybe, so you could have one ad group for men's sneakers and one for men's boots, for instance, and maybe one for men's running shoes, golf shoes, etc. You name it, the list can go on. And because you have specific ad groups for each of your product subcategories, you can now include keywords and ads in your ad groups that promote exactly what you sell and become extremely relevant to people who are searching for that specific product. So for example, in your men's sneakers ad group, you could include keywords such as buy men's sneakers, sneakers for men, men's sneakers shop, men's sneakers sale, etc. And whenever someone types in one of these keywords, it triggers an ad that might say something like men's sneakers, top brands, buy now for 30% less. In your ad groups for men's boots, you only include keywords and ads around boots. In your campaign for women's shoes, you do the same then. So you might have one ad group for women's sneakers with keywords and ads around women's sneakers, and one ad group for women's boots, and here you include keywords and ads all around boots for women. Maybe now you say, well, okay, clustering these ad groups makes sense, but why not put them all into one single campaign? The answer is yes, that would also be possible. But remember that it's on the campaign level where you assign your advertising budget. So maybe you find out after a couple of months that although you gave each of your campaigns 50% of the budget in the beginning, now it's mostly women that come and buy in your shop. In this scenario, you could reduce the share of the budget for your men's shoes campaign to, let's say, 20% and increase your women's shoes campaign budget to 80%. So you're more flexible to decide where your money flows and how much you invest into each segment of your business. Another different but also thinkable way of structuring an account for an online shoe store would be to set up campaigns for types of shoes. So instead of having campaigns for men's and women's shoes, you would have a campaign for sneakers and one campaign for boots and one campaign for running shoes, etc. And within these campaigns then, you set up ad groups for brands or colors or materials, and that's also possible. You should keep in mind though that your standard account is limited to 25 campaigns, so you could only set up 25 campaigns at the same time. But each campaign can contain up to 100 ad groups. And for keywords and ads in each ad group, there's also a limitation of 2000 keywords and 50 ads per ad group, but practically it doesn't make much sense to have so many keywords inside one ad group. Generally, I recommend to include not more than 5 to 10 keywords in one single ad group in order to keep it manageable. Here is another example that demonstrates how you can make use of campaigns. Let's say you have an account for a language school in London. One part of your business is to offer language classes locally in London, so people come to your school to get lessons in learning groups. As a second part of your business, you also offer online language classes, whether that may be live classes with a private tutor on Skype or pre-recorded lessons. The important part here is that it doesn't matter where your students are because they can take these lessons online. Why does it make perfect sense for a business like that to create two separate campaigns? Because you not only set your budget on the campaign level, but also things like geographic targeting options. So the first campaign, the one promoting local classes in London, which is only interesting to people actually living in London, could be targeted to that specific local area. That means all ads in that campaign will only be seen by people in London or just the north of London, even that would be possible. The second campaign, on the other hand, the one promoting online classes, could be targeted to the whole of the UK or even worldwide and therefore reach many more people in other parts of the world not living in London who want to learn a new language. So how would you go on? Let's say you offer French and Spanish classes. So for the first campaign, you create one ad group with keywords and ads promoting French lessons and one ad group with keywords and ads promoting Spanish lessons. When you include keywords and write ads for such campaigns, keep in mind your ads will only be triggered when someone from London searches for one of these keywords now. For example, if someone from London now searches for Spanish lessons, you can show them an ad that says something like Spanish lessons in London. For your online classes campaign, you also set up ad groups, one for French lessons and one for Spanish lessons. But in this case, remember that you will reach a much wider national or international target audience. So when someone from that audience searches for Spanish lessons, you could now show them an ad that says, for example, learn Spanish online from your home or office. And this way also people from other parts in the world see ads coming from you that are relevant to what they were searching for. This was just two examples of how an account could be structured and to make you understand how the three levels of the Google AdWords system work. However, each and every single business is different, and therefore you should always develop your own approach to structuring your campaigns based on your business goals, what and where you want to promote your product or service, and to what extent you want to control how your budget flows. You should always figure out what works best for you. Whether you're a small local business or a global company, an optimal structure for you will most probably always be a little different from what works best for another company. However, there are some basic recommendations that apply to almost any campaign out there and that will help you to come to an optimal structure for your own Google AdWords campaigns. First of all, think of how you structured your website. You probably put some consideration beforehand into your website's information architecture. In most cases, that already existing structure represents a good model of how you can also structure your Google AdWords campaigns. So when you have an online shop, for example, take a look at your navigation and see how you named and grouped your categories and what hierarchies you chose to organize your products. And this way, simply by following your website structure, you can take that as a blueprint to structure your campaigns and ad groups and make sure that your ads reflect what you have to offer. In any case, you want to develop granular campaigns. That means instead of only one general campaign with one ad group and then lots of keywords in it, you want to get as detailed as possible. You want to have campaigns that target different audiences and a number of ad groups with relevant keyword-specific ads in it that describe precisely what you're selling. Eventually, the more granular campaigns you develop, the more control you will also have over your campaigns and the more relevant ads you can include. And that also leads us to the last advice. As a rule of thumb, I recommend to use not more than 10 keywords per ad group. Around 5 to 10 keywords as a maximum is a good number to keep it manageable. Sometimes I have ad groups even with only 1 or 2 keywords in it. In other cases, I have a couple of more keywords in one individual ad group. But as I said before, technically it's possible to include hundreds of keywords in one single ad group, and that only very seldom makes sense and then also becomes very hard to manage and control. The goal is to group your keywords in a way that enables you to show ads to your target audience that are as relevant as possible to what they were searching for, and the best way to achieve that is to work with smaller groups of keyword clusters that are very distinct and describe an exact topic. So thank you so much for watching this video, I really appreciate it. I'd like to hear from you. If you have any questions or comments, please use the comment section when you're watching on YouTube, or visit the website for more information at www.semgermany.com. SEM Germany specializes in Google AdWords campaigns for the German-speaking market. So if you want to run Google AdWords campaigns in countries such as Germany, Austria or Switzerland and are looking for a native speaking and certified Google AdWords professional, let's get in touch at semgermany.com. Thank you and hope to see you in the next video.